Wonderful. And I'll keep this brief, but thank you very much for having us. Memory Lane Games, we have a platform for personalized digital health for dementia. And we're very pleased to present here today. Oh, there we go. So turning memories into games for people with dementia and their carers. We've launched an app with 3,000 games in it, personalized and localized around the world, 90,000 downloads, and thousands of hours of gameplay every month to help us understand what content engages people with dementia and their carers. And I'll just give you a quick example. We were in a memory cafe in the UK recently at Aston Villa Football Club. We handed around our iPads, and everyone is, the people with dementia who visit this memory cafe are playing our games. And one fellow at our table starts playing this one game on Finish the Lyrics 1960s. And he says, looks over at us and says, you know, Roy Orbison was a way better singer than Elvis. Right. Well, yes, you're right. Then he starts playing, and then he starts singing a Roy Orbison song. And at the end, he says, you know, Roy Orbison just didn't have as good a manager as Elvis. And wow, you're right. So at the end, we're collecting all our tablets, and there's a woman in the corner crying. And we go over and say, is everything okay? And she says, yes, I've been looking after Colin for 3 months, and I've never heard him complete a sentence. We're just starting to see some really interesting dynamics emerging from our simple little games for people with dementia. So with the local team's help, we're just starting to localize our games for Greece. And I'll just give you an example. We have simple, frustration-free games. And again, on foods, music, literature, art, history, everything. So whatever someone wants to play on, we probably have a game on that place. Games as medicine, personalized digital therapy. We're deployed in care homes, memory cafes, in-home care, and hospitals. Volunteers are using our app to engage with people with dementia. We're looking at running a clinical trial on that with the University of Liverpool. We just published clinical trial results. We ran a clinical trial randomized with pairs of 65s with dementia and their carers, 26-week study, remote trial in people's homes to improve quality of life was the focus. We just published those results, and I'll share some of those results with you. So 92% of carers felt the app made them feel more relaxed. 67% of carers felt the app made them happier. 66% of carers believe that the time spent using the app worthwhile. 58% of carers believe the app helped the person with dementia communicate more. And clinical safety, no material adverse effects reported, safe product, absolutely thrilled with these results. We saw indications stronger for moderates in our study, and we saw quality of life in improving in that area in particular. And comments coming out of the qualitative that he just felt more confident and happier. It was just so lovely seeing her being so proud of getting it right. And I think it made him think, oh yes, I can actually do it. We also have reports of people with dementia playing our games and then going on as a gateway to play other apps once they become comfortable and confident of playing our games on their tablets. And on transference of the master-student role, where the grandmother with dementia explains how to play the game to her granddaughter, which is just a tremendous result. And we've seen that reported in our clinical trial as well. We've also just published a case study on traumatic dementia. Our director of clinical and research has prepared this. Can personalized gamification be used to support calming and managing people with severe and enduring dementia? And what we saw in this one particular care home was finding a game, a trigger on a cats and dogs game, which featured a dog this one woman had when she was a kid. That game could bring her back and just relax her when she was starting to become a challenging behavior, especially in the evenings. And every evening she was reliving a traumatic experience in her prior life. And this game was one of the tools that helped the staff calm her down. It was wonderful. They call it a pocket help in their pocket, or like an extra pair of hands, especially at night. We've localized, as I said, we have 3,000 games around the world, but we've just started localizing for Greece with the help of the local team. Foods, places, history, faith-based games, sports, everything that you can imagine. We have all of these games available, and we're looking forward to rolling this out across Greece. Again, some more examples of our games. And our games are frustration-free. So if you touch one of the answers and it's incorrect, it just gently disappears. It doesn't tell you did anything wrong. It just gently disappears. So then there's 3 answers to choose from. And if you get it wrong, then there's 2 answers. So there's never a negative. It's always a positive way to get through. We're deployed in Bupa care homes in the UK. We've just been accepted into the MedTech Accelerator at the Mayo Clinic. And we've been working with KPMG for years as part of their Emerging Giants program. And if you would like to receive our clinical trial results or our traumatic dementia case study, you can register at memorylanegames.com, subscribe, or email myself, and we'd be pleased to share our results. We've been working with Alzheimer's Disease International for the past few years, and in the Philippines, our app is prescribed as cognitive exercises for stroke and dementia patients. We'd love to do more work in Greece, clinically, and in memory cafes and in care homes. So please get in touch if you would like to help us bring memory lane games to Greece. Any questions?
Thank you very much. This is really a very interesting presentation, and it is only fitting that we see a more mature, let's say, application that has gone through quite a lot of, let's say, testing. So I see we have a couple of questions. Mrs. Kancheva, please, first, and then Dr. Moran.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. It was indeed very interesting. I wonder, in your opinion, what's the most important factor to consider when you want to disseminate a game in a different country?
So we worked with Alzheimer's Disease International and asked a number of local Alzheimer's associations, would anyone like a free localized dementia app in your country? And we had hands from around the world. We started working with the Philippines, and they really helped us. It wasn't so much the language, it was the content. The games, because what our games do is trigger a positive memory and start a positive conversation. So it's got nothing to do with the scoring. It's all about triggering that positive memory. So for us, it was making it accessible to find a topic that the person with dementia wants to talk about. And because our app has that variety of games, we've been able to do that. So to me, it was all about the content. We started with accessibility and enjoyment, not clinical. And now we've come back into the clinical side. But our game started as we started making games for our own mums a few years ago. And that's how we started.
It's really interesting because it really goes back to what was discussed previously about the aging paradox, how emotion processing actually remains almost intact. And this is actually a way for people with dementia to stay connected and to reach and be reached. So wonderful work. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question from Dr. Moran.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I would like to know if this application is available in other languages, and if there is like a package of games for North America, and about the commercialization aspect, if this is available commercially, and what is the cost, or if we can have like a trial version that we can use for free for a while.
So yes, yes, and yes. We have it. Where are you based?
In Canada, in Montreal.
I'm from Calgary, and we have we're just launching with Extendicare in Canada, so care homes. So we have it localized for Canada in English. We have it localized for the United States. So we've got games on 150 cities, towns across.
Do you have it in French?
No, not yet. We're in German. We're in Tagalog in the Philippines. We're just starting. We're working with your local organizations in Greece to localize. But localizing isn't hard for us. So we are looking to move this forward quickly. But we have a free app that you can download from the App Store today, Memory Lane Games, and it has most of our English language games in it. But with reporting, we do remote monitoring and reporting for our care home groups and tracking all compliant, privacy compliant. So we have a package for care homes, but there is a free app that you can play these games today.
Great. And we have one more question from the audience here.